Immediately after the fight, I was sore, but I knew that was a special fight. That was a special moment in combat.
Fight fans, welcome back. Please like the video and subscribe. Our target is only 1,000 likes. So the UFC was in Saudi Arabia on Saturday for a solid UFC Saudi Arabia fight night card. In the main event, Israel Adesanya took on Imavov in a pivotal middleweight bout. Israel Adesanya entered the fight coming off a submission loss to Dricus du Plessis for the middleweight title. Imavov, meanwhile, was coming off a decision win over Brendan Allen. Ultimately, it was Imavov who scored a second-round knockout win over Adesanya. Imavov entered the fight as an underdog, as he was taking on the former UFC middleweight champion. Imavov was on a 3-fight winning streak, and in the first round, he struggled to get Adesanya down, but in the second round, he landed a massive shot that dropped Adesanya, and he finished him off with strikes on the ground to get the knockout win.
Immediately after the fight, I was sore, but I knew that was a special fight. That was a special moment in combat sports history, and yeah, I haven't said on the camera when they had the cameras on me in the stadium, I just say, hey, Kelvin, that was us, because it takes two to tango, and that man can salsa.
We often speak about moments that you've had in your career. The 5th round, I'm prepared to die. I mean, it's an iconic moment now etched in the Hall of Fame. Do you look at that one as perhaps your most iconic moment?
There's so many, but that was the realest moment I think I've ever had in a cage. The realest, because I meant every single word of it, and I returned the favor by trying to kill him, and he's a hard man to kill. So for me, it's in the moment I wasn't even scared. I wasn't scared of death, because I just got rocked, and I was just like, well, if this is how I go out, this is how I go out, but I'm gonna die trying. And I tried, and I did.
I saw it posted to Freestyle Bender that you actually FaceTimed Kelvin.
Just before, yeah.
Are you able to talk to us about what you were saying?
We're just sharing pleasantries and saying thank you. Again, I have to, I can't, it's not just me. It was me and him in that fight. And what an opponent. Wow, leading up to it, he was cool, respectful. There was a little bit of jibber jabber back and forth, but it was just gameness. And when it came down to it, he was fucking game. He came for me. He tried to take my head off. I think it was the first time I've been rocked in a UFC fight, was that first round. And again, I remember what my head was trying to do, like I guess, self-preservation. So I just said, shut the fuck up, I'm busy. And I went back to the center, right, because I bounced off the fence. My ass never hit the ground. And I went back to the center straight away and kept on working. But I'm, again, grateful, just grateful for these moments. And it still all kind of hit me. And maybe when I have a shower or when I'm on the plane ride, then I'll really let it sink in. Like, oh shit, I really did that.
Years past that fight, what kind of emotions do you feel when you're watching highlights of physically? That must have been a very tough night for you, but what do you think about when they show highlights of that fight?
I sweat. Yeah, I'm pretty drenched right now, because as much as you might I am an attention whore at some points, but sometimes I kind of like to make it be about other people, so I wasn't expecting that, and I'm glad I composed myself, didn't really cry or anything, even though I felt the emotions. But yeah, I just look at those moments and I'm like, fuck, that fight was a movie. It was on some real life ninja shit. Me and this tough Mexican going at it, he being hard to kill, fuck, and he's got a hard head, bro. Pereira has a hard head, but Kelvin, goddamn, noggin on that man.
What is it like being tied to another human like that? Because I'm sure you're gonna be in the Hall of Fame as your own fighter, but there's the knockouts and everything, but for the rest of your life, even past that, you're gonna be tied to Kelvin Gastelum on the wall of the UFC Hall of Fame.
There's a scar I have here on my lip from when he busted my lip from a punch. Whenever I look in the mirror, if I catch a glimpse of it, a thought of him goes past my head. There's moments in life when I have to dig deep, or in the gym, and I remember the moments in the fight where I had to dig deep, and that helps me fuel me, So again, forever grateful for him in those moments.